Hello everyone, and welcome to my BTG official channel. Shanice had always been known for her sharp tongue and her uncanny ability to uncover secrets long before anyone else dared to speak them aloud. But this time, even those who dismissed her as a gossip couldn't deny that she had something explosive to reveal. With her eyes gleaming with a mixture of triumph and apprehension, she strode into the Blue Orchid Cafe, the town's unofficial hub of drama, and within minutes, everyone turned their heads toward her. Conversations froze mid-sentence, spoons clinked softly against coffee cups, and the silence was heavy with curiosity. Shanice looked around, savoring the moment, her heart racing with the thrill of being the bearer of truth, or destruction, depending on who was listening. "I'm only going to say this once," she announced, her voice trembling slightly but filled with conviction. "Joey isn't who he says he is. And what I've just learned will change everything for Vanessa, Nicole, and maybe even the entire town." At first, there was a stunned pause. A few skeptical glances darted around the room, as if people weren't sure whether to laugh or demand more. But Shanice continued, her tone steady and her words deliberate. "Joey has been hiding something big. He's not just been playing Vanessa. He's been manipulating everyone around him, and now the truth is finally catching up." Those words sent a wave of murmurs through the cafe, and within minutes, phones were buzzing, texts flying, and rumors taking flight faster than anyone could stop them. The shocking news spread like wildfire, reaching every corner of Crestwood, from the town square to the quiet suburbs where secrets usually stayed buried. By the time Vanessa heard about it, the story had already twisted through a dozen interpretations, each more outrageous than the last. Some said Joey had been involved in something illegal, others whispered that he had betrayed someone close. But Vanessa knew better than to take town gossip at face value. She had loved Joey, trusted him, and despite everything that had happened in the past, she still believed there was more to his story than the public would ever understand. When Vanessa walked into the cafe later that afternoon, the room fell into an uneasy hush. Every pair of eyes turned toward her, watching to see how she would react. Shanice, seated near the counter, tried to look composed, but her confidence faltered when Vanessa's gaze met hers, calm, unwavering, but carrying an unmistakable edge. "So," Vanessa said softly, her tone deceptively measured, "you've been busy today, haven't you?" Shanice shifted in her seat, her initial boldness slipping away. "People deserve to know the truth, Vanessa," she replied, though her voice lacked its earlier conviction. "Joey's been lying to everyone. Don't you think we should stop pretending?" But Vanessa didn't flinch. "The only person pretending here is you, Shanice," she countered. "You don't know the full story, and you never have. Joey's made mistakes, who hasn't? But what you're spreading isn't truth. It's poison." The cafe went silent again, every word hanging in the air like static. Nicole, who had been sitting quietly at a corner table the entire time, finally stood up, her expression cold and calculating. She was never one to stay silent for long, especially when Joey's name came up. "Poison?" Nicole repeated with a bitter laugh. "Vanessa, open your eyes. Joey isn't some misunderstood hero. He's manipulative, self-serving, and you're too blinded by your feelings to see it." Her words struck hard, and several people murmured in agreement, nodding subtly. Nicole crossed her arms, her tone growing sharper. "Every time something goes wrong, Joey somehow ends up looking like the victim, and everyone else takes the blame. Doesn't that sound familiar?" Vanessa took a slow breath, forcing herself to stay composed even as anger bubbled beneath her calm exterior. "It's easy to criticize when you've already made up your mind about someone," she said quietly. "But you're forgetting what Joey has done for people in this town, for you, even. He's not perfect, but he's not the monster you're painting him to be." Nicole's jaw tightened. "Defending him again, huh? I shouldn't be surprised. You always find a way to justify his actions. But maybe, just maybe, this time you'll realize that defending someone who keeps lying only makes you part of the lie." Vanessa's eyes flashed. "You think I don't know who he is?" she said fiercely. "I know Joey better than anyone here. I've seen his flaws, his regrets, his pain. You only see what fits your narrative, Nicole." The rest, the truth, is something you've never cared to understand. The tension in the cafe was electric now. Shanice looked from one woman to the other, her confidence gone completely. She hadn't expected the situation to spiral this far, nor had she anticipated Vanessa's calm but devastating defense. "Look," Shanice said nervously, raising her hands as if to calm the storm she'd created, "I didn't mean to start a war here. I just thought people should know what's really going on. Joey's been keeping secrets, and if I know one thing about secrets, it's that they never stay hidden forever." But Vanessa's response was immediate. "And who told you his secrets, Shanice? Someone with proof, or someone who wanted to see Joey fall?" Her words sliced through the room like a blade, and Shanice hesitated before speaking again. "I have my sources," she said defensively. "You'll see soon enough that I was right." Nicole stepped closer, seizing the moment. "Maybe Shanice doesn't have all the facts," she admitted, "but I do know one thing, Joey's charm has fooled plenty of people before. He talks about loyalty and honesty, but behind that smile, he's calculating every move. Vanessa, I get that you care about him, but caring doesn't mean ignoring the truth." Vanessa's voice trembled slightly, not with fear but with restrained emotion. "And what truth is that, Nicole? The one you've convinced yourself of, or the one you've actually seen? Because from where I'm standing, it sounds like you're more interested in seeing him fall than finding out what really happened." Nicole's lips pressed into a thin line. "You're too soft, Vanessa. That's your problem. You always give people the benefit of the doubt, even when they've proven they don't deserve it." Vanessa smiled faintly, though there was sadness in her eyes. "Maybe. But I'd rather be soft than cruel. At least softness means I haven't lost faith in people entirely. At least it means I still believe people can change." That statement silenced the cafe. Even Nicole hesitated, realizing that beneath Vanessa's calm exterior was a woman who had been through more heartbreak, betrayal, and disappointment than most could imagine, and yet, she still chose to defend those she loved. Shanice looked away, guilt flickering across her face. She hadn't meant for things to go this far. What started as a burst of self-righteous energy had turned into a storm she couldn't control. And now, seeing Vanessa's quiet strength, she felt the weight of what she'd done. "Maybe I was wrong to bring it up like this," Shanice murmured, though her words were almost drowned out by the sound of hushed conversations beginning again. "I didn't want to hurt anyone." Vanessa turned toward her, her tone softening. "Then don't let your curiosity become cruelty, Shanice. Words travel fast in this town, and once they do, they can't be taken back." Shanice nodded, unable to meet her gaze. Nicole, however, wasn't finished.